In the next half hour, we are focusing on an issue that's in almost every single Bay Area community. It's affecting women of every race, economic status, age, or education level. In the show, you're going to meet a survivor who was one of the Bay Area's most high-profile women. You'll learn about the psychology behind this problem, and we'll show you where to turn for help, because these are our issues, Tampa Bay. Hello, I'm Jen Holloway. Domestic violence, it's a pervasive, life-threatening crime, and it can happen to anyone. Our first guest is someone who's not only a survivor, but she's the president and publisher of the Tampa Bay Business Journal, and she is one of the community's most philanthropic people, Bridget Bello. Bridget, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jen.
It's not an easy subject, but I know you're here for a reason, to help others and to give hope. Can we start from the beginning? How did your situation start?
We can start from the beginning, and I'm actually, as I thought about it, going to start a little even further than the beginning, because I think one of the biggest things that my message is that we have to stop the cycle. And my beginning starts as a child, and my father was a batterer, and my mother was an abused woman. Really? And there's something that takes place in the back of your mind when you grow up that way, that's what you think love is. And as resolved as I was to never be in that situation, and to be a strong, independent woman, and to make sure that I wasn't treated that way and that my child didn't grow up that way, I woke up one day and realized I married my father, basically.
In the same situation.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's important that if you're a woman that has had children in that situation, that you recognize that they need to deal with what is that? Why do we think that's love? It's the only example that we have. Right. You know, we all think our parents are so much in love, and that's our definition of love as we grow up. So, like I said, somehow you end up going, oh my God. And so where normal people might go, wow, he calls me every 5 minutes and he wants to know where I'm at, and he's jealous, and he's constantly accusing me of, you know, we interpret that as, wow, he really loves me. He loves me. As opposed to, wow, that's really creepy and not okay.
Right. Because we all want affection. We all want love.
Absolutely.
And when it comes in that form of, he calls me a lot, he cares where I'm at, it is what you first perceive as love.
Absolutely.
And then what happened?
So what happened was I met who I thought was the man of my dreams.
Yeah.
And incredibly good-looking man, very charming, very sweet and doting, and you know, now I look back and realize very controlling. Yeah. But what felt like someone who just wanted to take care of me, and who thought the world of me, and who wanted what was best for me. And
he put you on a pedestal, I bet.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Put me on a pedestal, and I fell for it. I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, you know, I'm not a stupid woman. I do run a company. And, you know, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone.
Anyone.
And that's my message.
That is your message.
And it's amazing the situations that I find myself in where there's other very strong, very powerful women who have been in the same situation. And I find that the more I talk about it, the more those women talk to me. Yeah. And, you know, it's like the old starfish. I can save that one. I can save that one. Yeah. And,
well, for me, Bridget, and I've known you for a long time, I had no idea. And I knew you were a very tough, strong, independent woman. And then when I found out what you had gone through, I was just floored. But it took my respect level for you to the umpteenth level. I just thought, wow, she's even stronger and smarter than I ever thought she was.
Thank you.
And you are. You really are. So for someone watching now, what is your advice to them who may be in that situation?
If they're already in that situation, my advice is get out. Quickly run, call a friend, call your mom, call somebody. Stop blaming yourself. Stop being ashamed. It's not something that we as the victim should be ashamed of.
It's not your fault, is it?
It's not.
It's not. They're the ones with the problem, with the issue.
Absolutely. And none of us like to fail. So we don't want anyone to know, and we keep it quiet. And there's a, shattering the silence that has to take place. We have to be able to stand up and say, this is not okay.
Right.
And this is happening to me, and I need help.
And it's okay to say you need help. It's okay.
It's not easy, but it's okay.
It's okay.
And, you know, if there's anything I've learned in the last 43 years, it's that none of us can do it on our own. And friends and family and all of those people. And, you know, there's places that can help. There are shelters that can help. One of the ways that I have tried very hard to give back is to get involved in those shelters and to try to help those women. But in a lot of cases, like I said, it's women of means. It's not women. And that's something we should probably talk about, because I didn't need money. I didn't need a place to go. I didn't need those things. That wasn't why I stayed. Why I stayed is because I continued to fall for, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Things will change.
I'll change.
I had a child. I didn't want to take my child's father away from her. I felt like, you know, I could put up with what I was putting up with for her. And for anyone who has heard me tell my story, when I sat her down on the floor and we were both in tears, and I began to tell her that Dad wasn't coming back, she said to me, "Mommy, what took you so long?"
She knows now that you broke the cycle. You've
Hopefully.
broken that chain of domestic violence. And
Hopefully.
I'm sure she's looked up to you and said, wow, if Mom can do it, I can do it.
You know, teen violence is a very, very prominent problem also. And it's amazing what I have seen with two 17-year-old daughters now, and the control that shows up in those relationships very, very
Even at
early.
17.
Even at 17.
Wow.
You know, one of them plays volleyball and has a boyfriend who said, "Why do you have to change your shirt on the court in front of everyone?" Or "Why do you have to wear spandex?"
And it's something as simple as that, isn't it?
As
That's
simple
how
as
it
that.
starts. Because when you allow that control to come into your life, it builds and builds and builds.
And they take advantage of it.
And they do.
And they continue to take control.
And
of
it
your
starts so small. And like you said at the beginning of the interview, you think it's love, you think they care for me so much, but it is that impact of control, and you've got to stop it.
They begin to isolate you. They make you feel like no one else in the world loves you. They're the only ones that love you. They begin to make your friends not seem like your friends, and your family not seem like they love you. And they want to take everything out of your world except for them, because that makes it a whole lot harder to leave. And that's, again, another sign. They don't want you hanging out with your friends. They don't want you talking to your family. They have to be involved in every aspect of your life and know every single detail of everything that you're doing. Again, it's not love.
Are the mental bruises harder or the physical bruises harder? Or is it the same?
The physical bruises go away.
Yeah.
So, you know, we joke about that sometimes. I am very, very happily married and very luckily married to an absolutely wonderful man who also was in an abusive relationship, but it was not a physically abusive relationship. It was all the other things. It was all of the control. It was all of the verbal, all of the emotional. And, you know, we say my bruises went away. Now, the emotional and verbal certainly was there on top of that, but that's the harder part for sure.
Wow. Bridget, I cannot thank you enough. You've really shared a powerful story, and you've come a long way. And I know if you can do it, there's so many other women that can do it too.
Well, and thank you for highlighting this and for helping us raise awareness. And
I don't think people realize how prevalent it is.
I
didn't.
Don't.
All right.
1 in 4 women. So if you know 4 women, you know
One of
someone
them.
who's been abused.
Bridget Bello, thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.